Hey everyone, this is Adam Hancock with Foundry Capital. I'm standing out on our site of Foundry Plano, our office campus off of 121 and Razor. And I've been having a conversation a lot with people trying to articulate them what exactly Mustang Square, the master development, is going to be. It's going to be cool. It's going to give you something more mixed use than a lot of places would, but it's hard to kind of envision from the kind of loose rendering. So I'm going to flip this camera around and it might be helpful if I kind of walk and point everything out. So that's what we're going to do. All right, so what you're looking at here is the entrance in. This is actually Dijon. That's where you come in right here off of 121. And then Razor is going to be way over there. That's going to be the major cross street that people are used to. So we own right here. We own 3.5 acres where the Foundry Plano is going to be. That berm over here is going to go down. So it'll be flat. 4 of our 13 buildings have direct sign frontage, but you'll be able to see the whole thing. I mean, this angle from 121 is pretty appealing. And then we're going to do 13 that start like right around here. The 150 parking spots, you can park in these units. We're going to put a cafe back here. It's going to be cool. James Beard, award-winning chef, is the one running the cafe, by the way. So then across the street, when you first turn in, I'll try to go slow to not nauseate you here. This is almost a mirror size lot. It's very similar to ours. I think it's zoned mainly for office right now. I'm not sure what they're going to do. And then, or maybe we'll do something. And then back here is kind of done with commercial already. This is a DR Horton residential development. I forgot how many owners. It might be like 800 to 900 when it's all said and done. They're single family, but they're long and lean. And it's one of the nicer DR products that I've seen, just depending on the market you're in. This is the fringe of our property here. There's going to be water that runs all through here, but the renderings make it look like you kind of fall off into the water, but it's not quite that. You have a full sidewalk over here. It's gated. I actually think it adds like kind of a natural rear easement protection versus like something else sitting there. And then as we keep going here, I'll try to show the rendering while I'm doing this so you can see a side by side. This lot right here, from my understanding, is going to be a 4 Points Sheraton hotel. I'm not sure that can change. I've heard mixed things on that. I think whoever buys that has to do a hotel. This spot right here is going to be really cool. It's connective. I know a lot of people I've spoke to haven't heard of it. It's like a high-end class-based gym, like the group personal training kind of thing with a bunch of classes and stuff like that. But it's very like Equinox-esque in what it's going to be. But you can walk to it from our spot, so you have hotel for your visitors potentially, if you're doing business meetings. You have a gym that you can walk to and kind of consolidate that. And then what's going to be over here, from my understanding, is multifamily, but it's going to be very high end. I heard like Legacy West-esque apartments and maybe ground level retail. That lot back there is very potentially that's going to be a luxury residential condominium ownership building. If you don't think that's synonymous with high end tower in like the suburbs, well, the Hall Park development that they recently done across the street, that's doing super well. So we think the demand for that actually is pretty interesting. And then beyond that, like a lot of the renderings, like over in this area, which is going to be their huge parking lot now, and this kind of area, we're going to have an on-site cafe. One of the reasons we decided to do that was to give the residents of just our buildings an extra benefit of like how they'll interact with that cafe. We have an AI tech platform where they'll be able to order free delivery. If they're doing catering, anything like that with some advance notice, it'll be interesting. But that will be open to the public, so these residents will have access to it with DR Horton. All of these guys will have access to it. But it looks to be in the plan, and we might be involved with some of that. There's going to be maybe a few different restaurant options, maybe an additional larger coffee shop. Ours is a quick casual concept. But all in all, the reason that we're really hot on it is what you want to ideally pair with this office is you want to be hopefully within 5 to 7 miles from your neighborhood. So Stonebriar Estates, Willow Bend down where I'm at, Hills of Kingswood, something like that. This would remove the need to probably go into town at all. If you have kids, most likely they're already up schools up here. Even my kids down at like the Christian school in Addison, I don't really go below that ever. So that perk for me and the other developers is kind of scratching our own itch is really important. But then on top of that, I want mixed use on my campus. So being really close to cool stuff and restaurants and that kind of thing is nice. But if you can get mixed use here, that's walkable, and then on top of that, you're less than 5 miles from Legacy West, Grandscape, the Star, Stonebriars, all the other action up here, then it's kind of a value stack, value on top of value on top of value, and that's how I would sum it up.